Welcome back to another video. Today is Thursday, June 12th, 2025, and I will be budgeting my paycheck for June 15th. So I'm going to take a quick scan to see what has changed. A little bit of changes, not quite a few. Let's touch on some of these before we get started. One of the things you may notice is there are student loans in my budget now. I currently don't have any student loans. However, my son, he tried college out for maybe a year and it wasn't for him, but now we have student loans. So currently I am making the payments, and so we'll work out how we're going to do this in the future. Not much else has changed. I think I talked in the last video about how I changed my categories. I tried to put them in alphabetical order as much as possible. So I created new category groups. So the names are somewhat alphabetical. The only thing that doesn't really fit is credit cards. And so that has changed. Non-monthly bills are just, essentially sinking funds, things that come up that don't fall within the month. However, once they're fully funded, I do move them out of my budget to the You Did It category. A few of these are still in the non-monthly category because I will need to fund them coming up. So Father's Day is this upcoming weekend, and so money has been spent and will continue to be spent under this category. So I'm going to leave it here because it will need additional funding. And then birthdays. So we have a lot of summer birthdays in our family. So I have some June and July birthdays, and so this money will also be spent very soon and need to be funded again in the future. So I left these two here because they're coming up. Do also want to talk about this last thing before we start assigning is the Nintendo Switch 2. So last budget with me, this category was not funded. I decided to get the Nintendo Switch 2 anyway. I did not have a pre-order, and part of the reason is because I am a early bird, so staying up to midnight to pre-order the Switch wasn't going to happen. And then when I woke up 6 o'clock the next morning, all of the websites, most of them were sold out. The GameStop website kept crashing every few minutes, and so I just couldn't be bothered. I did get on the Nintendo lottery list, but they never contacted me about that. And so when the Switch came out, I think it came out on a Wednesday or Thursday, I just accepted that I probably wasn't going to get one. I didn't want to wait in line at midnight for the stores to open or anything like that. However, Saturday morning, my husband and I were out doing yard work, and I said, hey, you want to ride around for a little while and see if any of the stores have the Switch? And he was down, and so we checked Target. They were all sold out. We also checked Best Buy. The guy said they recently had a truck and they should have gotten some more, but they didn't. We went and had breakfast, and we happened across a GameStop that was close to me. I just went in to check it out, and they had 3 consoles only and 3 Mario Kart bundles. And so I got a Switch. This price here is not only for the Switch. Of course, you also have to get all of the things. A lot of places are sold out of the Express card. I had to go back to Best Buy separately to get the Express card for the console. I also ordered a Pro controller, which just got delivered yesterday. It's still in the box. I haven't had an opportunity to open it yet. And then I also put a screen protector on the console. At some point, I will be moving these transactions to the hobbies category, and the hobbies category will be grossly overspent for this month. But YOLO. I had this category funded back in March before everything kind of went down the toilet. So it is what it is. Enough of that. Let's get into the budgeting for this month. I'm going to start with this first things first category group. I am just going to fund anything that's overfunded. Also, sinking funds should be 20% of my income. With the student loans being added, I still want to make sure that I am continuing to build up my savings accounts. And so I put this here as kind of a holding place while I assign out the remaining dollars. And then I go back and assign this out. With that being said, a lot of my categories for the rest of the month, I don't get paid again until the 30th. I get paid the last day of each month, the 15th and the last day of each month. A lot of my categories are funded, so I'm just going to go to underfunded and start assigning out. Have my new car payment as well as what's left on the Verizon bill. Also, because this is the kind of second paycheck of this month. I count the 15th as my second paycheck, and I use the paycheck the last day of the month to fund going into the new month. I'm going to fund all of these. So this is dining out, fuel for the car, hobbies. I probably don't need to spend any more money on hobbies, but I do have some transactions coming out. These are things that I bought previously and put on a pay and forward plan. I mean, it feels easy in the moment, but now I have to fund this category even though I've spent so much money already this month. But anyway, household consumables. So this is things like tissue, toilet paper, body wash, that kind of thing. And then groceries for the remainder of the month. So I'm going to just hit underfunded. This is $543.73. Also going to fund half of stuff I forgot to budget just because I already had $25 in here from the last budget with me and I spent it. And if I fund the full amount, then I'm going to spend it. So I snooze that category as well. I'm going to fund the remainder of my car insurance for this month. And then I'm also going to fund gifts and maintenance, which I've already spent money in these categories. I've overspent in quite a few areas this month. All right, all of my underfunded categories are funded. Seems like I have more money than I should just because I have $589.63 here. But then I also have money left in my sinking funds. One sec while I double check my accounts. Okay, so this is accurate. What I'm going to do for this 589.63 is I'm just going to overfund some categories. I'm going to go to the more money here section. I'm going to overfund some of these categories. I know some people really enjoy being a month ahead. And I do want to get to a place where I am a month ahead at some point. But lately, when I've been having extra money to assign, I like to put that money into sinking funds because I'm really trying to have, in addition to our non-monthly expenses and our normal sinking funds, I'm really trying to beef up this job replacement category just in case of emergencies. It's kind of like a peace of mind fund. And I want to build these up as quickly as possible so then any extra money can be allocated to some of the debt that I spoke about earlier, like the student loans and things like that. So I'm going to start here. We got 400, so let's do 12 plus 1250 minus 965.63. That takes us up to 1250. And then let's put 100 here for now because we also need to take the money out of here, savings, and that brings our ready to assign up to $540.71. And then job replacement, I'm going to add plus, what is it, maybe 520. That'll take that up to 4,200. Okay, that leaves $20.71 ready to assign. I'm going to go into next month and go to the needs category and see if there's somewhere I can put this money. I think I'm just going to take this 2071 and assign it to Hulu for next month, and that'll get us started on that. For the remainder of this month, we have our categories funded. Halfway in, I've already kind of overspent a little bit on food, very overspent on hobbies, and a few other things. We'll see how the rest of this month shakes out. I am thinking for July to go on a low spend month. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about anything I said or anything that you've seen in my budget, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.